we do some VTuber shenanigans. How about that? VTuber shenanigans. I go over here because he will be over there. Here we go. Oh, come on, load. It's always the same.
Hey, what's up, guys? Ruff here. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the pretty messy situation involving the popular indie VTuber Deme, who found herself facing a lot of criticism thanks to a post she made where she was attempting to set boundaries regarding artwork made of her VTuber model. However, her response to said criticism has really shown her true colors, many people thinking she is...
He isn't a fanboy, he's just a dude that uses a female model. The guy is married, so he's plowing the coochie, so yeah, no fanboy.
A mean girl who is rubbing the lowest moment of someone's life in their face instead of addressing criticism, while doing so very hypocritically, where in past situations she has condemned such behavior and even asked for grace when she found herself in a low moment as well. All of this stems from this post she made yesterday, talking about how she's extremely uncomfortable with not safe for work art made of her VTuber model. Now, the hypocrisy people are attempting to point out is the fact that literally the next post was her reposting very suggestive art of her VTuber model.
Of course.
And really she has a history of doing that, but that's a very small portion of this video.
By the way, I have watched her for a while. I think a couple of weeks, and then I stopped because, you know, the vibes were kind of off in my opinion, and yeah, I was kind of uncomfortable watching her, so I stopped.
What I'm focusing on most is her response to the attempted criticism, where Chibi Reviews, for example, is met with this post from Deme, where she's mocking the fact that his fiance cheated on him, while she laughs about the scenario, the lowest moment of that guy's life.
And she's laughing about it. Yeah, I can, yeah. Yeah, that fits her character, as far as I, well, remember.
Which is not just a heinous response and a very shallow one for criticism, but also it brings up her history of dealing with related subjects where she has condemned such behavior and also asked for grace in her own life when she was facing low moments, especially when it comes to her own relationships. For example, when her current boyfriend physically and emotionally abused her and even slashed her with a knife. And she has condemned people bringing this up and bringing up her lowest moment in her life. But I guess when it comes to people criticizing her, it's fair game. So let's get into the post itself that started all of this. She said, "Hey, just a reminder, I'm extremely uncomfortable with not safe for work art of me," in quotes. "But why did you make your VTuber look like that?" End quote. "Just cause I like sexy stuff doesn't mean I want to see full-blown adult content of it." In quotes, it's just a VTuber, end quote. Who do you think of when you see it? So a lot...
Well, to be fair, to be very, very fair, she has a point here. Because being sexy and adult content, two different things. And who do you think of when, you know, you to it? Yeah, the same. But the same goes if you see a hot chick on a beach in a bikini, and then, you know, you think of her. It's literally the same. So yeah, that's a stupid argument.
A lot of people are pointing out that she has a history of consistently reposting artwork of her model in very suggestive situations, and they think this line she's trying to draw is a confusing one or possibly a hypocritical one. This is some of the responses saying, "Feels uncomfortable with not safe for work art of herself, reposts not safe for work art." And this is literally the next post she made after claiming she was so uncomfortable with not safe for work art, where this particular art piece, you can see pretty much all of her chest and other parts of her body. It's very suggestive.
Yeah.
But of course, people are going to debate about whether or not that is full-blown adult content, as she was referring to. And I guess this is the very normal response to people making edits of the previous poster and gunning them down, because apparently trying to have a conversation about this sort of boundary setting is, well, met with violent hostility. But people...
Well, yeah, that's how people there are. Always remember, on X and Blue Sky, especially Blue Sky, you will only encounter the most mentally ill people. Always remember that.
People are pointing out overall that she has a history of posting very suggestive artwork and sharing it, of not just her VTuber model, but also posting herself in similar sorts of ways.
Of course.
And you can see other...
Is anyone surprised? Is anyone surprised here? I'm not. Of course I'm not.
Quotes like this saying this would hold more water if you weren't consistently retweeting softcore adult content of your model. And really just looking at her model itself,
yeah.
Obviously it is quite revealing. It's just a very messy situation. I'm not here harping on this sort of standard she's setting. It's okay to set boundaries, but in this case, it's pretty messy. But where I do feel very compelled to talk about all this is where Chibi Reviews, the YouTuber, would reply, where he would raise the same sort of criticism, saying, the level of virtue signaling has stun-locked me. Look at the repost, referring to the same repost that the other user had shared. And this was her response, not clarifying anything,
of course
not combating the point being made here. Instead, taking a shot at his lowest moment, saying, wait, OMG, aren't you the guy whose fiance literally cheated on you and your whole friend group sided with her? LMFAO. So she brings up the fact that this guy got cheated on. Yeah, they're all horrible people. Yeah. Obviously, the people who did this in the friend group, all that, horrible people.
Yes, of course.
Why is that funny? How is that even a response? It's not even acknowledging the criticism whatsoever. You're just...
Of course not. She tries to deflect. She tries to deflect any criticism because she's weak.
Dunking on a guy with his lowest moment and then laughing at it. And people really did not appreciate this. But for those who don't know, a few months ago, Chibi Reviews shared a personal event in his life where his fiance cheated on him with one of his close friends in the friend group, chose the friend over him, and he almost drank himself to death in response. And it was surely either the lowest or one of the lowest moments of his life. But that's now...
That completely sucks. Yeah, I feel for that guy. I truly do. Man. Yeah, having to cut out all of these people out of your life after a betrayal like that, man, that hurts. That really, really hurts.
Being rubbed in his face when he dared to criticize someone's post, right? And you can see people saying Western VTubers try not to be terrible people for 5 seconds challenge. Impossible. And it seems to happen over and over again, especially with the popular female indie VTubers, where it's like eventually they have this mean girl behavior. And whether or not you want to consider this new for Deme, I don't really know. But this is a really mask-off moment, right? People are looking at this with a lot of disdain. They think this is an incredibly low blow, but it goes way beyond that. She is very hypocritical on all of these related subjects, where she has talked about cheating before. In fact, in a recent video from only a few months ago...
Oh, let me guess. Cheating is okay if the woman does it, right? Something like that. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's where this is going.
She was talking about a big cheating scandal in the Japanese streaming scene, and this was her response to people hyping up the guy who was the cheater.
Watch. This is a clip from that stream. Look at...
No! No! All the men cheering for him? No! Are you dead ass?
all the gifted subs he was getting.
So here she's very angry about men hyping up the guy who is cheating and making light of the event or even glorifying it.
Well, yeah, because the man is cheating, not the woman. That's why.
But that's exactly what she's doing with chibi reviews. She is elated about this and even laughing about it in her response. So that's a clear level of hypocrisy here. And also people are bringing up that she's always talking about mental health and men's mental health. This person saying, a lot of you say you care about men's mental health and then turn around and do stuff like this. Also, Deme has been a piece of crap for a while. Glad you are all noticing now.
Yeah.
And she is the type to make routine posts talking about Happy Men's Day to my fellow men. And that is something I've talked about in the month of June. June is Men's Health Month. But she's making posts like this and then attacking men for having something horrible happen to them, weaponizing their lowest moment when they're faced with criticism. They don't have any other way of responding. But it's interesting to see how she responds to the misery of chibi reviews, for example, but has a very different level of tolerance and empathy and understanding when it comes to her own life and men in her own life, including her current boyfriend, who she made a big series of call-out posts and called him out on stream where she claimed that he was physically and mentally abusing her. And she would make a...
The thing is, does she show any evidence? Because that's you know what I would kind of require to believe anyone. Evidence, you know.
Response when she briefly left him saying, "I'm free," and goes on saying, "After dealing with the things being broken and thrown, screaming in my ear until it rang, having to scream for help till my voice broke because I didn't want my phone taken from me since I took photos of what happened, being pushed, being verbally assaulted, the constant lying, the bruises from being held too hard. I just want to move on." Here's the very ironic part. The last thing I want is for people to constantly remind me of everything.
Oh, the irony. The irony. Oh. Oh. And that's why I believe that actually might have happened. Because the irony would make absolute sense, yeah.
So, in her own situation where she was mistreated, she doesn't want people to constantly remind her of that situation, but she is very, very free to do that to others, apparently. But of course, it goes even deeper than that. The same situation Deme would expand upon in a Twitch stream where she would say that, well, she was hurt with a knife, saying, "We were having an argument that went on for too long and he started getting his episodes going on, his anger issues and stuff like that. He grabbed the knife and I was trying to grab it and it effing slashed my leg. And now there's like a 7-inch scar." And
yeah, so hearing this, you know, kind of, I think that they deserve each other.
And the, I guess now current boyfriend confirmed everything that happened, the verbal and physical attacks. And the only thing he would dispute is that he claimed it wasn't a knife, it was a pair of scissors, but as if that makes a really big difference when you apparently leave a 7-inch wound on someone else. But of course, as you can tell, she would eventually get back with him just months later, saying, "Nikita," the guy in question, "and I," a month after canceling him on Twitter. Well, I wouldn't think allegations are really the same as canceling someone, like they're being mean or something. Like, this was pretty serious stuff.
They literally deserve each other, yeah. Man, two retarded people doing retarded shit. Yeah, they deserve each other. Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
But in the replies, she would say, "Jokes aside, I still to this day get comments everywhere about going back to your abuser. But honestly, I've never been happier and stable, more stable. And she would talk about mental health issues and all these things. But she would end it down here by saying, he took care of me in my lowest. It's nice to know people aren't defined by their lowest moments to the people that matter. So again, she's talking about, it's nice to know you're not defined by your lowest moments, but this is how she responds to criticism about arts of a VTuber model, rubbing another person's lowest moment in their face and laughing about it. Very, very hypocritical.
Well, yeah, of course. Of course, but people that watched her and went away because reasons, we know because we had this gut feeling.
But of course, she likes to talk about mental health issues and people not caring about it. She continues on a different post saying, I'm not gonna lie, it's all about mental health, until you actually see someone struggling and suddenly everyone bats an eye. I will never regret getting hurt by trying to save someone from an attempt. If you make fun of it, you're an absolute waste of air. And honestly, you're hurting me more, but I guess that doesn't matter to people. Now keep in mind, a part of Chibi Review's situation was basically drinking himself to death, being very distraught over what happened to him. But of course, that's fair game for her to make fun of. But when she has a similar situation in her life, if you make fun of that or even bring it up, you're an absolute waste of air. And you're just hurting her more. She knows exactly what she's doing. She does. Basically adding insult to injury by bringing this up and rubbing it in his face.
Yeah, that's the entire purpose of why she posted that stuff about him. That's the entire thing. There's no other reason. Why else would you post that shit? There's no reason.
Now, of course, there's even more hypocrisy. It really never seems to end. She has talked a lot about the Psychono situation, where, in case you're not familiar, a popular streamer was caught being a serial cheater, and the girlfriend actually took him back as a result of all this. But this was her response to
stupid people do stupid things.
Related subjects.
But holy, what a piece of. The girlfriend is the only person we should feel bad for. I don't know, dude. I feel kind of bad for also the people that he cheated on with, because they're just because they're coming out with the fact that they're, I don't know.
I can tell you why she said that. Because the people that got cheated on and cheated with are women. That's why. That's the sole reason why. I can guarantee you that.
Well, what we do know is that she feels empathy for people being cheated on in this situation, but doesn't feel any sort of empathy. In fact, weaponizes it when it happens to someone who dares to criticize her on Twitter.com. And she also has this attitude of throwing a little shade at the fact that the girlfriend took Psychono back, which is, people draw the levels of irony there. But she's talking about this situation, and people were already criticizing back then, well, you should be aware you have personal experience with someone with high XP, because she said that he must have high XP to be able to keep his girlfriend after all of this. And this is yet another post of her situation, basically saying, stop mentioning my situation with my ex. And of course, she would get back with him. So yeah, she draws this line where you're not allowed to talk about things going on with me and my relationships, but she feels very open doing it to others. Of course. That's why I had posts like this from Parrot saying,
of course, it's all about having fun and making content. And maybe hurting other people. Maybe that's also a thing, that she likes to do that. I'm, knowing people and how people are, it's a possibility.
Guy's fiance cheats on him with his friend. Friend knows about it and doesn't tell him. Point and laugh at him for it. LMFAO. your own ex abused you in 2024, gathering sympathy for your own abuse, but then turning around and making fun of someone else's abuse. You're a hypocrite. And I think that is a very fair set of criticism given everything we've seen, right? But she would respond to Chibi Reviews, who would say, so you avoid answering why you retweet not safe for work of your avatar despite being upset about it in the post. Then you cheer on him cheating. Interesting. Well, that's the whole thing too, right? Like, she doesn't make it very clear what she even considers not safe for work, because I think a lot of people would consider, of course, what she reposts regularly as not safe for work.
Because she doesn't want to talk about that. Because that could, you know, mean that, oh my god, people might see me differently. Or blah, 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 something. Oh my god, yeah, I just want to repost that stuff because it gives me views. Which is most likely the thing. Most likely. I mean, she does that all for money.
It doesn't have to be completely and utterly 100% fully no clothes involved for something to be not safe for work. But then again, that's not really the crux of the criticism here. It has a lot more to do with her response to said criticism. But she replies saying, my bad for not wanting to see my model getting pounded, as if that's anything he said. If people want to keep drawing it, then that's their choice, but I'm just not going to support it. Does it make sense to you now? And she's referring to...
She is still not answering the question, you know, what's going on. Of course not.
Reply she would add on to the original thread where she says, I just feel like there's so many other content creators who would love to have artists draw them in that way, and it's a wasted effort towards me. But I'd like to make this clear. I'm completely okay with sexy stuff. She just doesn't like full-blown adult content. But of course, you know, Chibi Reviews would say,
that's what she
you could have answered first like this, but used personal attacks and cheered cheating. Not a good look. And yeah, I mean, the fact that that's exactly where she went first is a pretty telling thing about the kind of person she is. You can debate about the standards she is expressing and whether or not she's following through on that stuff. But it's another thing to bring up other people's terrible, low moments while always garnering sympathy for your own low moments and condemning people who would ever bring it up. It's incredibly hypocritical, okay?
Of course it is.
But the artist who made some of the related stuff that was being reposted would make...
Oh my god. Here it comes. I haven't read it. I haven't seen it. She told him to post it or draw it or something like that. I bet something like that will come up. Now, if it's not, then, you know, it's not, but I bet. Why else would that be here? Let's see.
Their own statement where they basically say they didn't know about the standard and they're removing the stuff and they worked it out in private and they're going to keep making these things if they feel like it. But of course, they end it by saying seeing my name on effing Chibi Reviews was the final straw. So I guess they didn't really care until they saw someone they don't like talk about it. It just kind of shows the motivation of people like this involved here. But this entire situation is an absolute mess.
So I was wrong. He didn't even read it.
And, you know, she went after someone and what happened to them and their former relationship and basically opened herself up to a world of criticism way beyond anything to do with arts and what she's reposting, but instead her own standards that she has created for herself and for others that she's not following through the second someone gets under her skin with criticism of one of her posts. But anyways, definitely would want to hear what you guys have to say about this, a very messy situation, so please leave your comments down below.
And with that, we go to the second video. And yes, there's a second video. I know there's a second video. I've seen it. Well, I've seen it in my timeline. So let's check it out. Wait, There are 3 more videos? Total crash out, triple down, and quadruple down. Oh my. This is amazing. Oh my god. This is great. Oh my god, content. So much content.
Here. So right now I want to take some time and give a follow-up to a video I made yesterday about the VTuber Deme, who made a controversial post regarding some standards she has when it comes to artwork made of her VTuber model. Some people found the post to be hypocritical, and instead of addressing those criticisms, she made personal shots at the critics, bringing up the lowest moments of their life, which is not only mean-spirited, but also very hypocritical given her many posts.
Addressing the drama right now. The link is to a 24/7 channel running VODs, not a live response to recent drama. Of course. Of course.
Trying to protect low moments of her life, calling those who bring it up bad people, etc. We saw the full life cycle of the average VTuber drama with this situation, where she would then try to pseudo-apologize while simultaneously doubling down and basically saying she's a bad person and proud of it. And in the replies, she was mocking the people criticizing her, saying anyone mad about this is insignificant and doesn't matter anyways, and said that most people are just broke in trying to engagement farm. And then about an hour later, she made this banger of a post, literally trying to farm engagement and funnel people into her 24/7 re-upload channel onto Twitch, which would get hit with this note right here, as you can see. But in case you missed yesterday's episode of Dragon Ball, here's the very quick rundown. We have this popular indie VTuber, Deme, who made this post clarifying how she's uncomfortable with not safe for work art made of her. Many people found that to be hypocritical, given the fact that she's constantly reposting very suggestive artwork of her VTuber model boyfriend, accusing him of verbal and physical, and essentially say you're a bad person if you would ever bring up the lowest moment of my live stream yesterday. And unbeknownst to me, now, I was talking about this in my live stream yesterday, and unbeknownst to me, she had already did some follow-up posts, and I'm just going to play a snippet of that stream because I think it's a pretty candid reaction to the new posts as I discover them live in front of my audience. But that's really the situation, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very messy, to say the least. And is this the...
Oh my god, who's a better waifu, Tatsumaki or Frieren? Personally, I think I would go with Tatsumaki because I like that she's kind of aggressive. You know. I like the damaged woman.
The end of it? Probably not. I'm giving it a 50% chance of flaring up.
Did you see what she said?
No.
You don't have her new tweets pulled up?
No.
I thought you knew that she doubled down.
No! Alright, so she did double down, saying, I was too busy in Japan to see what happened in Twitter. What do you mean? What I meant by not safe for work, since a lot of people are confused, I'm okay with lewd, not been okay with it, I just don't like seeing people F. Oh, so okay, very clearly. Until...
Okay, that's a very, very clear statement. That is very, very understandable, right? Literally, no penetration. That's what she said. No penetration, no genitalia, I would guess. Which is the standard for German TV. Literally, at least in the past. I'm not sure if you can still show tatas in Germany. You could when in the 2000s. Up to then.
Penetration, everything safe for work. Great. Great. She sounds like a woke school teacher right here. I've seen that rhetoric before. Not saying that about her. That'll make that very clear. But I'm just saying, I've seen this before. clarifying to me being a bitch. That's nothing new. And I've never been nice to people I don't care about / respect. Y'all are so bored that someone that just doesn't like porn made you personally get riled up. Everything you're reposting is porn. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Do you want me to
she's
attach
literally crashing out.
softcore to it? Would that make you feel better?
It's like pornographic.
Get
Yeah,
over
porn.
yourself. Come on. Ugh. I just genuinely can't really care as she makes a long series of responses.
Oh.
But I thought you were busy in Japan.
Oh, yeah, so much to I don't care. Yeah.
If you don't want to respect it or even try to see what I meant, that's why people were asking. I see
Yeah.
no reason to be even respectful remotely to some losers. I'd be lying if I said I was sorry. Well, I'm glad you're acknowledging that you're
Yeah.
a bit of a rough around the edges
Yeah.
sort of person. She has BPD, right? I'm pretty sure she does.
BPD. And with other words, she's a woman.
Well, guys, you're not allowed to talk about this because it's her lowest moment. So,
Of course.
we got one of those stickers. Stickers exist. Thank you, the Cold Recluse, for the 2. But let's get into the comments here.
There she is more.
More.
Well, yeah, her reply.
Yeah, that's why I was scrolling down. Woman.
The comments.
Yeah, but these are comments, actually.
That's her thread, actually.
No, wait, let me... There we go. Was it right to do what I did? No.
Oh my god. How can you be this stupid? How? Oh man. You see why I don't watch your stuff anymore? You see it? You see why?
Okay. Great. No, but I never pretended to be a role model whatsoever and openly hate other people, so what's surprised? Who's surprised on that?
She's just admitting, she's saying the quiet part out loud. She's like, I know I'm a bad person. I've never pretended to be anything else. She's telling us who she is.
To the people bringing up what happened with my relationship in the past as a blow, we practically moved on from it too. Well, I'm glad you moved on from that.
Yeah.
If you actually watch my streams, he's on it all the time. And we're happy AF. Just taking a break from streaming in Japan. I never hid that whatsoever. No one thinks you were hiding it. To the people who think I'm not a good VTuber, never did the norm, and I don't plan to. Cry about it, pussy.
Oh.
Shiver me timbers.
Yeah.
Whoa. Popping off over here.
Angry little woman.
Okay, well, no one is talking about you being a good or not VTuber. We're calling you a hypocrite because you said never bring up my lowest moments, and then you brought up someone's lowest moments.
Yeah.
You're not just mean, you're a hypocrite. That's it.
She's not only mean, she's also stupid. That's the worst.
And honestly, your choice to go back to him, your choice.
Yeah.
You have a lot of love for men, which apparently extends to a very large level of forgiveness. But that's your choice. That's your choice. Just like it's your choice to be a maniac on Twitter and rub people's lowest moments in their face.
Exactly.
While whining about people rubbing your lowest moment in your face. As you do it again.
Again, exactly.
She learned nothing.
I'm not surprised.
But she's not... Oh.
I'm not surprised.
On. To add to this, I talked to my community about what people are saying. I was confused with some people calling me a hypocrite. I do advocate mental health for women and men. I, however, do not care about Chibi. She cares about men till they disagree with her. Then...
Yeah. Yeah. Hypocrite. That's just a hypocrite. Yeah. It's... Man, stupid people. Stupid people.
Get out. I made the mistake of saying the first thing that came out of my head when seeing his username. But I should have been the better person. Why? You said you're an unapologetically bad person.
Yeah.
So you're not the better person. This is exactly who you are. You can't double down and say, this is how I've always been and I don't care, pussy.
She's
and then
really
go
dumb.
around and say, I should have been the better person. You're not. You're not the better person.
It's so weird though, because it's like an apology, but not an apology.
It's
Look
a
what she
total
says
non-apology.
next. She's
Of course,
saying
it's
she's
not an
sorry.
apology.
Okay. I made the mistake of saying the first thing that came out of my head when seeing his username. I should have been the better person, said nothing. I've learned to hold my tongue in most things, but I legit got surprised seeing the username and associated with it. Is this
What?
guy like some cartoon villain or something? Did like Kanye respond to one of your tweets or something? Like, it's chibi reviews. Relax. Okay, I know people talk about him on Twitter all the time. Why are you so
Damn.
stun-locked that this guy replied to you being a hypocrite about the art you're reposting?
Yeah.
For people who think I'm backpedaling, no. I'm sorry for slipping up. And not thinking before talking.
No, you aren't. You are sorry because there's backlash. That's why you are sorry. For yourself. Sorry for yourself.
But I'm not sorry for what I said, to be honest, especially that it was towards him. He's a piece of shit, and everything about him is disgusting to me. Not because he got cheated on, but because he's a weirdo in general. Interesting. Then you could have called him a weirdo in the reply. But that took too many brain cells. That would have caused you to think
Exactly.
and actually type something out other than saying, you got cheated on, Lamau.
Yeah.
Why is he a weirdo?
Yeah, why
That-
exactly?
that-
Deserves
Why?
to get this like shoved in his face.
If someone's weird, they deserve to be harassed and have their lowest moment of their life shoved in their face. I don't know.
He's a weirdo, so he doesn't deserve mental
Because I think he is a weirdo.
Yeah, because she's a bad person. I mean, she literally said that herself. It's always funny to me how bad people always try to make themselves out to be the victim or to be a decent person, even though they literally say, "Oh yeah, I don't like that person. That's why I did it." It's so stupid.
Weird guy. And I think he would tell you first thing he's a weird guy. I think we're all weird people in this situation, but like, okay, that means you get to harass him. Interesting. For the original post, I didn't make the post for people to delete art of me. I did it just as a reminder of my stance, which hasn't changed. It annoyed me that people have time to scroll on my page, but not time to take to literally read the OG post in the reply, not an hour after specifying what I exactly meant. So yeah, it annoyed me when all the blue badges don't tell me. You have a blue badge!
You can't make this shit up.
How is that a criticism?
Well,
She's
says in
so
another reply
stupid.
To someone else that they're all broke and need money from Twitter. Or something.
All
like
my
that.
haters are broke, weirdos, etc., etc.
She's so stupid.
This is what you want to support? Go for it. Go for it. But where were we? The blue badges.
What a
where is
stupid
it?
person.
Oh, the blue badges came crawling in. My bad to my community for getting into drama again. I know I'm not losing anything valuable when it's this type of crowd. Pancakes and waffles. Also, I'm not stupid. I know me saying my stance on porn thing isn't going to stop people from doing it. The post was for people who cared about my stance. Are you going to address the hypocrisy at any point? I don't think so.
No, of course not.
Here's someone saying, so you're a massive bitch who mocks people for their traumatic events that made them suicidal. Got it. Good to know. If you actually didn't bother to do any introspection, you're a sad person, and it speaks to your true nature. And she says, yeah, honestly, if we're talking about Chibi here, I don't sincerely care. I was genuinely surprised he was the guy. You're not that guy, buddy.
What?
You're not that guy. Apparently, according to Deme. So, if she thinks you're a weirdo or you're that guy, you deserve anything coming to you. Oh, here's the other reply. Okay. I feel like that should have been obvious to them. If we say not safe for work, a lot of the times it's about people getting after nudity. Yeah, but they just want to farm Twitter engagement because they're poor AF and have nothing else to earn on. The OG post was obvious AF.
Says the woman that's disabled and I would highly guess can't have a normal job, and that's why she's a VTuber. Throwing stones when you are sitting in a glass house, right? By the way, same for me, right? disabled can't do a normal job trying to be a streamer and YouTuber.
If you're a broke boy,
just say so.
That's what it made me think
Okay. Amazing stuff. What a
Oh, boy.
disaster. Yeah, thanks for clarifying, Deme. So we now know that you are a confirmed bad person by your own standard. You're a hypocrite. You don't acknowledge genuine criticism.
Of
and
course
you'll
not.
harass people and demean them and bring up their lowest moments hypocritically if you think they're weird or they're broke.
Yeah,
Wow.
makes sense.
Amazing. Very cool. Keep up the good work.
She turned the comments off.
She turned the comments off.
Of course.
Oh!
Of course.
Oh, womp womp, everyone's gangster until only some accounts can reply.
Yeah.
Many such cases. That is some
She pussied
very
out.
fragile behavior right there. Stick to your guns. I thought you were an unapologetic bad person.
Yeah.
I thought everyone was a pussy, but you!
And now she can't handle this
Shame.
the shit. Yeah.
Shameful situation. Sucks to suck. I don't know. Introspection is probably the best thing I could advise at this point. So yeah, obviously that whole set of takes is an entire mess, and people were hoping that someone would jump on her phone like it's an active grenade and get her
Man,
off of social media.
it's so
However, that was
retarded.
not the case. Just shortly after that tirade, she would make this just pathetic post, honestly, saying, addressing the drama live right now. And instead of linking her actual Twitch channel, she links a 24/7 channel that literally is just reruns of her already posted content. This would get hit with a note clarifying that, because clearly she is trying to farm engagement, which is very ironic because she was mocking people for doing just that, or what she perceived to be doing just that only hours ago. I also want to point out very quickly that this is not marked and pre-labeled as exactly...
Twitch rules for pre-recorded videos. Twitch requires creators to explicitly label pre-recorded broadcasts to avoid misleading viewers when using pre-recorded content. Oh. I guess she didn't do it.
What it is. And that is actually TOS, so I don't really know why she's kind of flying close to the sun on this one. But I think it's very funny that she is trying to farm not only Twitter engagement, but also engagement on this 24/7 account, when literally just hours before she was calling people poor because they were trying to farm Twitter engagement.
And she's doing the exact same thing. Again, proving that she is a hypocrite. I mean, is this even real? Is this even a real person? Of course it is. The most retarded people are always real people. Because intelligent people can't make this shit up. Intelligent people can't imagine how stupid some people are in what they're doing. It's so out of their world that they can't imagine that. And that's coming from someone that literally licked one piece of corn off a hot pan. A hot frying pan. Yes, I did that. I was that retarded. And guess what? I learned my lesson. I will never do that again.
Of course, this whole thing is just sloppy. It's not going her way. She's not getting the traction. This sort of triple down on mean girl behavior is not a good look at all. Here's the reply saying, weird response. And now the drama farming starts. Get out your bingo cards, folks. What will it be first? Crying/panic attack on stream, tripling down and slinging insults, mass gaslighting and blocking.
Oh, the tripling down and then the quadrupling down. We know because we have seen the titles of the other videos.
I may have used your past trauma as a gotcha, but you were mean and that is worse. Also, don't use my past trauma against me. I'm calling it right now. This whole thing is an absolute mess and a terrible look. Every single person has this sort of feeling, or a lot of people have this feeling, that there is a sort of mean girls club at the top of the indie VTubing scene, and it seems like
yeah, I can totally see that. I mean, if you have a bunch of women coming together, yeah, of course there's a mean girl club. Of course there's. Because that's always the case. Always. There's always this clique of mean girls. Of course. It's literally nothing special.
it's like one after another, right? This whole thing is incredibly embarrassing. It's been a 24-hour long crash out where she's gotten progressively more unhinged, and I don't really think it's going to stop anytime soon. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, consider giving this video a like.
Oh, we aren't done yet. We go to the triple down. The triple down. I want to see more of this stupidity.
Because we're here. So it looks like we're returning to the Deme situation yet again. We have achieved a trilogy, ladies and gentlemen, because Deme just simply can't stop tweeting about her current drama.
Of course not. Of course she can't. Of course not.
If someone was close to her and actually cared about her well-being, they would be jumping on her phone like it's an active grenade, because the more she posts on social media, the worse she looks. She has doubled, tripled, and even quadrupled down on her recent mean girl behavior and even her hypocrisy regarding the related situations. And now she has stooped to a new low, posting very clearly fake screenshots of her critics to try.
Oh my god, she's so stupid. Oh, why would you do that? Just shut your... It all would go away if she would just shut the f up. If she would stop posting about it, would stop talking about it, it would all go away. But she can't because she's stupid.
Try to slander them and get a quick own on them while justifying her own recent behavior. Also in this video, we're going to be looking at the defenders of Deme. And let me just say, they are a very interesting bunch trying to cope with the fact that there's recent clips of Deme perhaps being pounded live on stream, as well as coping with the fact that she's been outed as a massive hypocrite. And they've really shown they have absolutely no standards, no principles whatsoever, defending her just because they don't like the people she is beefing with.
Which also shows you that those people, you know, on her side are stupid. They're just as retarded as she is. Which is not surprising at all. It's Twitter. Of course the people are retarded.
Now let's get a quick rundown of what's happened over the past couple of days. So she came out with this post saying she's very uncomfortable with not safe for work.
Again, we already had a recap. Here we go.
Make it look real among statement is very pathetic again, but not for Chibi reviews. Why, you ask? Because she thinks he's weird. And even that statement itself is very pathetic because it's not even really her own thoughts. She ran to her Discord server and was basically trying to gauge how they would respond if she made a statement and what she could.
Man, this guy really. Curtis honestly knows no bounds. Deme, you absolutely deserve every bit of negative karma for what you have done today. You gutless H-word.
Say to make it look real, among other things. And when that didn't work, shortly after, she would post this, saying addressing the drama, with a link not to her direct main channel, but instead to a 24/7 rerun channel. And, well, that's very ironic and desperate, especially given the fact just hours before, she was mocking people for farming Twitter engagement.
We are still in the, bringing you up to what's going on. Because we haven't seen the part that I just wrote before.
Because they're poor. And then, well, the next day she would wake up, still in Japan, having a great time, by the way, and she would feel the need to flex on everyone by claiming she bought her first Rolex. Really giving that Pokemon.
Never do that. They aren't worth it. They literally don't work properly as a watch. Imagine paying, I don't know, 10k for a watch and that the thing doesn't work properly. And I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Rolex themselves says that they don't count the time properly. They have to being readjusted from time to time. Those watches are investments. Just investments.
Type energy. If you're a broke boy, just say so. But things would take a very interesting turn over the last 24 hours, where this clip, among others, would go viral. You know, remember the whole fact that her standard with her VTuber model in art is that she doesn't want her character to be straight up pounded. She will not support posts like that by reposting them, what have you. Well, some people are bringing up a clip from one of her
She got railed live on stream. Oh.
streams where they believe she is being pounded while live streaming. Now, we will never know the truth unless she actually says it. And honestly, I'm giving this more for context for her next post, because otherwise you'd be like, what is she even talking about? But for the clip itself, you can see someone diabolically left a comment with timestamps of all the things that sound suspicious during that stream. And I gotta tell you, from listening to it, I mean, there's a lot of weird things going on, right? She's like random.
Man, a part of me want to look this up and see if it's true or not.
Moaning. She can't really concentrate or read anything on the screen. She's constantly like moving back and forth. And there's even like skin to skin sounds in the background. Like it's if it's real, that's some very diabolical and very TOS behavior by her.
Oh yeah, if just these things are all actually in it, then I can absolutely believe it. Yeah, absolutely.
But of course, these posts would go viral, getting tens of thousands of likes, and people thinking this is another layer of hypocrisy, and people would start making art and edits like this, mocking the situation, where she would then quote this exact post with this now edited post. As you can see, all of this is grayed out, not because she changed any of this, but because she edited to remove this. So she attached this image of a very clearly fake screenshot from Chibi Reviews, where in the fake tweet it says, went to Walmart today and saw some cute lollies, which honestly made my day. Now, if Deme had the attention span necessary to actually dig into anything before she impulsively started tweeting out fake,
most likely cosplayers, I would guess,
screenshots, she would know, this is the real tweets, where he went to Walmart and saw someone holding a baby kangaroo and said, that made my morning. So,
wait, she edited that. She's even worse of a person than I thought.
So here you have Deme not only sharing a fake post, but ultimately perversing a very innocent and wholesome interaction where someone was holding a baby kangaroo. But she wasn't done. She also shared more very visible, very public tweets made by Chibi Reviews talking about this anime right here, which his comments would definitely fit the theme of that anime. And she posts this as some proof of, I don't really know what.
Yeah, this is a picture. You can tell because the resolution, this is a different resolution. This is completely pixelated compared to this, and that shouldn't be the thing of, you know, it's on the same website as man, this isn't even made good. This is literally not made well. Oh, what a pathetic.
It's again, not debunking.
No, I have to censor this. Great.
Anything he said, but as people pointed out, she's on a trip to Japan. She's made everyone know she's on a trip in Japan and having so much fun as she tweets daily, crashing out over this drama, but also trying to use Chibi liking a very...
Yeah, see this? It replied to Deme's post. See that this looks just normal? Just like the post from the person that replies, and this doesn't, because this is a fake. This was created by someone This is an image.
well-known anime and making a joke about it.
She's so trash.
While in Japan, seems like some very tourist behavior. But then she would edit the tweet, of course, adding on, has to update the tweet since I don't want to spread misinformation.
Of course.
My bad on that. And people were not buying that, saying, yes, you did. That's why you did it. While leaving in misinformation still, referring to the actual body of the tweet that we'll read in just a second. This person's saying, you're still doing it, by the way. You have no evidence to back up your claims, so pack your bags. You got caught and exposed yourself as a grifter. And then down here, she says, whoopsie, I accidentally posted a fake image to hundreds of thousands of followers without knowing it was fake. My bad, guys. Never again. But here's the actual text. We'll read through it here. Chibi fans want to preach about men's mental health while making fun of a man's attempt. I got slashed accidentally when I pulled the scissors away from him trying to save his life from a horrible decision. Their obsession with the puck fantasy also checks out. Okay, let's just pause for a second here.
Their obsession with the cuck fantasy also checks out. What? She can't write one paragraph without being retarded, right?
We're attacking fans now. Okay, she's not even directly addressing Chibi. She's going after fans. And by the way, fans in this context is anyone on Twitter making fun of her or criticizing her. Okay, she's casting a giant net on anyone who's being mean to her and saying they're Chibi fans, right? And also, I just find this interesting given the history of everything. She's now changing the narrative to say it's scissors instead of a knife, which...
Yeah, because she originally said, if you remember back, just about 40 minutes ago, she wrote knife. And then she got, words corrected that it was a scissor by, I think, the dude that literally did it. And now she is using scissors. Yeah, that's what's going on here.
She said on stream was a knife. He said it was scissors. But now she's coming out all these years later to clarify that. I just thought it was worth pointing out. And then you can see this part right here about this fantasy. Bad timing on that one with the recent viral clip. She didn't deny anything that was happening in that, but just that whole aspect is probably a subject she doesn't want to touch upon too much right now. But she continues on saying, I had no idea that Chibi Reviews tried to take his own life, and I don't wish that upon anyone. Well, here's the problem. You made fun of everything else about the situation that he did not have control over whatsoever. So drawing a line here is interesting, to say the least, but also, how do you not know? Like, the video that she's referring to from Chibi Reviews is like 3 minutes. Don't you want to check out the 3-minute video before you make a whole response bringing up the guy's lowest moment? But
that we have to keep in mind, that would someone do that's responsible, but she isn't. It's that simple.
She continues on saying, as I said before, I don't care about the guy in general. You've been tweeting about him for days. He made one reply. You could have ignored it or just responded without being psychotic about it. But she says, I'm not going to apologize to a guy who dated a teenager while he's pushing 30. So obviously she is manipulating.
Yeah, she's implying something that, oh, he dated an underage person. Remember, a teen, 18, 19, they're teen.
Manipulating the language here to make it sound like he's some sort of a predator, when in reality he was with an adult. As far as we know, that's the ages that are public right now. So she's using this terminology of teen to wink, wink, nudge, nudge that he's doing something very, very wrong. And also pushing 30, Deme is 26. What do you mean? What are you talking about? But then she says, scammed his fans of thousands of dollars for a lawsuit that never happened, not really elaborating on that whatsoever in her post. I don't think she even understands. I feel like she's being told all these things without actually looking into it, and it's just regurgitating.
would make sense, yeah. That she is the kind of person that does that, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
It. That's why we ended up with fake screenshots and stuff like that. But she continues on saying, never in my life have I've heard of people siding with a cheating future wife in any scenario, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not surprised the guy doesn't understand boundaries / consent. Well, that's insane. So you're implying something very heinous about the guy. Again,
of course she does.
She's using this very manipulative language to paint the guy.
Of course she does. She's a she likes to Jesus. You know what I'm trying to say here, right? She's one of these people.
Is some sort of a dangerous person. She continues on saying, if you want to hate me through how I speak and carry myself, fair game. However, if you're going to always complain about harassment in Twitter and cause harassment on me getting physically harmed, it makes no sense. He didn't do any of those things. Anyway, I'm gonna continue my Japan trip. Guys, the trip is going so well.
Yeah.
She is having the time of her life.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake. She is having a ball in Japan. She's totally not coping. But the replies, not agreeing with her whatsoever. You really wouldn't have to go through the trouble of writing all this mumbo jumbo if you just wrote a simple, yo, sorry, my bad, that was a bit out of pocket. Yeah, literally this would have diffused the whole situation and everyone would have moved on in the first 24 hours. But here's another one saying, this is you right now. You are digging a hole so deep you won't be able to get out of it. The lies, the manipulation, the gaslighting, the Darvo, people see through it all. And you are getting obliterated in the comments. Some people even saying that, well, based on her own actions, that she might be the bad actor in the relationship. An interesting theory.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you know, if you know the statistics and things like that, it wouldn't be surprising at all.
I just advise you to delete your account and graduate. You're not escaping this. Dude, you went full regard. So on and so forth. And here was Chibi's reply on a separate tweet because he's blocked. Right after this all started, after she replied, she blocked him, preventing any direct engagement on Twitter, which is a very odd move because she's calling everyone pussies and all this stuff, and she's locking replies on her tweets. She's blocking the people she's been tweeting about endlessly for days, not giving him a chance to directly defend himself, especially...
Yeah, that's when you get the lawyer. Or if it's the stuff is illegal in your country or whatever, you go to the police, something like that.
When she is saying some heinous stuff about the guy, but he says, VTuber Deme has now started to use a fake tweet that was created to slander me when I was doxxed and got swatted by police. The fake tweet was created likely from this post I'm quoting. She is now doubling down on Kiwi Farm's rhetoric and lies to attack me. Shameful behavior. And yeah, it really is shameful behavior. It's been like a 4-day-long crash out for her.
4 days.
She is not accepting any criticism on this.
Imagine crashing out on Twitter for 4 days while you are on holidays in Japan. By the way, spending a holiday in Japan, that's very, very, very incredibly expensive. And she's wasting all that by crashing out on fucking Twitter over kind of nothing. She's so stupid.
Subject, and it's evolved into something totally embarrassing. She looks like a massive hypocrite, a mean girl, among many other things. But don't worry, there's so many people willing to defend her despite how bad she looks right now.
Because they want to fuck her. The fans want to fuck her, and the other people that defend her, they just hate man. It's literally just that. It's literally just that. There's literally nothing more to it.
And they are coping hard. Here's one post quoting a screenshot from my channel saying, on the one hand, he makes it absolutely clear the main hypocrisy in question is her bringing up the chibi reviews censored, being cheated on when she went through similar experiences herself to the point of asking others not to bring it up. On the other hand, it's censored chibi reviews, bro. So I'm glad these people are making it very clear that they have absolutely no principles, even when they identify pure hypocrisy and it's being pointed out by someone like me. They don't care because the subject being targeted in this situation, her attacks on chibi reviews, represents someone this person doesn't like. Therefore, it doesn't matter. And they support whatever Deme is doing.
Yeah.
And you can see the replies destroying this individual, saying, censoring chibi reviews name. That is diabolical. Grown man censoring a YouTuber's name like some K-pop stan on some random forum or something. Like, this is so beyond pathetic. Like, please, man up a little bit. Savvy asking, which antidepressant are you on?
Let's look. 22, he, him, autistic, bi. Of course, both. Like many things, blah, blah, aspiring in film TV production. Oh, no. Oh, no. These people are all getting fired at the moment. So, yeah, that's never going to happen.
Why are you censoring his name like chibi reviews is some racial slur? You're mentally 10 years old. Well, here's another defender really doing their best. Defending...
Wait. Let's read it. 26, by, of course, doer of things, muzzle enjoyer, he lies strong man, proudly anti-fascist, sure buddy, and F-eyes. Exactly what I expect. Yeah. Of course.
Here's another defender really doing their best. Defending Deme, saying engagement farming off of the outrage of predator defenders and basement dwellers in your mentions is insanely based. Oh yeah, it's insanely based.
Yeah.
To be a gigantic engagement farming hypocrite who shamed people for engagement farming hours before this post, calling them poor. Also, this guy, completely mind-broken, reposting Deme flexing, getting a Rolex. That is just brutal behavior to support this sort of shameless flexing, this insecure
By the way, people that support her hate rich people, right? I can guarantee you that. They're all like, oh yeah, capitalism bad. And then they defend someone buying a Rolex. That's the people we are talking about here.
Flexing and be like, yeah, that's a W right there. That's so based is just pathetic. But then again, look at the person making this, calling people basement dwellers. This guy has 200,000 tweets in less than 3 years.
He literally does nothing else but posting on wow. That's a little over 1,000 days. So we no, not a little. 3 years, that's 1,300, let's say 1,500. That's rounded up to 2,000. 2,000 days. 200,000 divided by 2,000. He is literally doing nothing else but posting on fucking Twitter. Man, what a loser.
200,000 tweets in less than 3 years. This, ladies and gentlemen, is asylum behavior. Okay? Completely deranged. You know how many tweets that is? That is thousands a day. That's crazy. Go outside, bro. And then people mocking this guy. Basement dwellers, look inside. Neck beard, acne, receding hairline. Pack it up, bro. She's not gonna F you, even if...
What is this beard? Yeah. And what is this? He has a mustache, but he doesn't really has a mustache. Man, what are you doing?
You had a diabolical. But then you can see someone saying, are those predators in the room with us? Because that is apparently what this guy views everyone criticizing Deme as. And the guy simply says, you're here, aren't you? What a witty reply.
Yeah.
You know, again, these people love watering down these terms, and we've seen people projecting about this sort of stuff end
All
up
the
being
time.
outed as deranged people themselves, so I guess start the clock. But here's another situation where someone is kind of laying down what's happening here. A very simple
here we go.
takeaway here, saying two things to be learned here. Before mocking someone for being cheated on, make sure you don't have a effed up love life yourself. And if
Yep.
someone stabs your leg, coming back to that person is the most regarded thing you could ever do. And one of the Deme defenders says, all she said was this: there's no her antagonizing him, just laughing at something from months ago. That's it.
Man, that's not even a sentence. Pronounischer. Oh my god. We have a retard. Another retard. Who could have guessed? All she said was this: there is no her antagonizing him, just laughing at something from months ago. That's it. No punctuation, no comma, nothing. This is so dumb. This is so dumb. These people are so stupid. And that's coming from someone who's for the ones who don't know, I'm German, and in German class, my best grades were a 3, so a C. For the Americans, it's a C, and I think I never got anything better than a C in German. In English was always better, always better. I got A's there, but never in German. Now that is funny.
You could spell it out. You could lay it out on a platter for these people, the way that this is hypocritical for Deme to do when she shames people for bringing up her lowest moments but does it to others, and they still just won't get it. They refuse to get it whatsoever. And people are pointing out in the replies, you literally don't even know what antagonizing is whatsoever. And the original poster replies to people dunking on him by saying, OMG, these chuds. It's the chuds, ladies and gentlemen. Those dastardly chuds strike again, aka anyone I don't like on social media.
Yeah.
But overall, this is kind of like the final takeaway. If she just kept her mouth shut, she wouldn't be losing subs and followers across the board. If she just ignored his comment or even made it and said, yo, my bad, that was a little too much, let's move on, she would have avoided all this. But it's been a 4-day crash out for Deme, because the second accountability and criticism comes her way, she goes bonkers. She's completely lost her mind. It's opening up so many different realms in her career and life that was probably not even known until now, but thanks to her own efforts, they've become relevant and have gone viral in response. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, please consider giving the video a like.
Oh, we aren't done yet. We aren't done yet. If you thought so far it was stupid, I can guarantee you, it's getting worse. Oh my god. She says it's a smear campaign. Oh my god, she's so dumb. I'm so happy I don't watch that dumb woman anymore. Reap what you saw. Oh, we might watch this one too. It's from 15 hours ago. Oh my god. Man, he's putting videos out left and right. Affirm us or die. Oh, must be, yeah, the progressive. Yeah, of course.
Hey, what's up, guys? Rip here. Welcome to part 4 of the Deme situation. She has quadrupled down on the recent drama, and in no way does her recent post attempt to combat the narrative that she's a hypocrite, a mean girl, someone who is prone to crash outs. No, Instead, she is making yet another post trying to defeat the narrative that she was getting live on Twitch.com
right.
during a recent stream.
Yeah, and in the last video, we had that show briefly, that apparently she was getting railed live on stream. Oh,
we're going to see her
wonderful
post regarding that, but also the continued cope from her strongest sycophants on Twitter. And we're also going to see how this drama has found her on every platform she inhabits. Basically, this whole situation
of course
boils down to this. Deme avoiding accountability like her life depended on it. Now, in case you missed the previous...
Well, to be fair, if you have seen a photo of her, she is not able to do that. And yes, I'm shaming her. I don't care.
Episodes of Dragon Ball here. I'm going to give a very quick rundown of everything that's happened so far. So it began by Deme making a post trying to draw boundaries when it comes to not safe for work art of her model. Chibi reviews, among others.
Oh my god, yeah, we skipped this. Wait, are we...
When confronted with the criticism of her being such a men's health advocate, she says she still is. Farming engagement because they're so...
Oh my god.
Screenshot of...
3 minutes in and recap. Yeah. No. No. Okay, the recap seems to be over.
Manipulative statements, trying to paint him again as a predator and as a scammer, among other things. She provides no explanation or proof of any of these things
of course
that she's claiming. Around that same time, the last 2 days really, people have been focusing on clips like this, where, according to some, they believe that she might have been having intercourse live on Twitch. Now, just like I said in the previous video, I don't know if that's what she was doing. All I know is
well, he could have looked into it. He could have.
Sounds very odd, right? Just random blurts of screaming, lack of concentration, moaning, all of this stuff. In fact, some diabolical individual provided a timestamp for every weird moment relating to this narrative. As you can see, it's a whole archive. But this post was deleted by Deme, which a lot of people found interesting. And this has really been the dominant narrative on social media the last 2 days. People making posts like this saying every masterpiece has its cheap copy. They screenshot of the related stream next to DSP. People claiming she had a bit of a DSP moment +1, I guess, if that's what people are assuming happened. But she seems way more bothered by this accusation than anything else. Not the hypocrisy, not the situation with her boyfriend, and the fact she went back to him after...
But yeah, I mean, always remember, she said that she is a bad person. She admitted that. I think it was in the first video. We are at the 4th now.
All this abuse, she alleged, not the mean girl behavior, not the crashing out, not the flexing, the engagement baiting, none of that, right? She doesn't care about any of that. She has retreated to her echo chamber to talk about this. Not to address the real criticism, but to really focus on the narrative we just talked about, where she says, I'm not really surprised that Chibi viewers genuinely believe I had intercourse on stream because they probably never even heard a woman talk to them in real life.
Oh my
just
god.
Say incels at this point. This is like a diet Casey-tron. Just go the full length here and just call all of your haters incels. I mean, what are we even doing? And she adds on saying Nikita, her boyfriend, was literally streaming at the same time. They're trying to make themselves have a puck point of view. You can't make this stuff up. They can't defend themselves with the points I've said, so they're doing a character smear campaign.
Oh, she's
which is
so
very
stupid.
ironic. She's been doing nothing but a smear campaign the last couple of days. On top of that, she can't defend
this woman is so dumb. So I literally mean that. I think she literally is just stupid. She's so stupid that she might even not understand what's going on.
Herself, because all of the hypocrisy and mean girl behavior is so blatant and obvious, she's not even trying to address any of those points. But of course, she's on Discord. She's with her echo chamber because she doesn't want to argue these things on Twitter because she has lost the narrative. I mean, you go to any of her posts, I don't care how many likes it has, just go to the replies. All the replies are dunking on her. And you don't even have to resort to talking about what may or may not have happened on stream. They're just pointing out the hypocrisy and mean girl behavior above all else. And of course, the boyfriend's been silent. He hasn't said anything. I guess he's
Of course he stays silent. He doesn't want to have anything to do with this. He just wants to be, you know, plowing that coochie and not having stress.
preemptively blocking people like myself to try to control the narrative. But Deme could not help herself. She had to add on today with yet another post saying this. If I was crazy enough to get it on stream, I'd at least have an OF to bait engagement. Stop forcing your fantasies on others. My behind too fat to move that lil. And you can see there is just no stopping the impulsive nature of this woman. She is going to continue, whether or not it's going to make her look even worse. But this first part really lines up with what we've seen the last couple of days. So she's openly admitting if she opened up an OF, she would be able to bait engagement, basically siphon money from her fans through that content. And you know what? If you're really just kind of blindly thinking this woman is something deserving of being on a pedestal and you're okay with this level of disrespect, that's on you. But at the end of the day, you know, this is not even surprising. Like, she actually is kind of an outlier in the popular indie VTuber scene by not having an account like that, because there's about a 50-50 chance they have an OF or a Fansly or something like that anyways, but that's another conversation. You notice that in this, she's not addressing any of the, like, really important criticism. Instead, she's making a follow-up again, trying to dispel the narrative that she had something extracurricular going on during her streams.
Nice wording.
And you can see the comments all shredding her, right? 23,000 likes, but you're hard-pressed to find a single reply that is supporting her.
Of course.
People saying it's not a fantasy if it's true. You just like being a manipulative person. You're at bare minimum pucking your boyfriend on his VOD, because her explanation to some is that, well, he was in the other room. Well, that doesn't really mean a whole lot to some people, because they still believe something happened. And
wait. So she streamed. Her boyfriend streamed, and then she got plown while on her stream, but her boyfriend was still on his stream. Now, if it's true, now can I believe that? Well, seeing the last hour of watching this stupid stuff, unfold, I wouldn't see why not,
that narrative gets even more confusing with her explanation. Then this user saying, dude, you can hear, you can read. Here's another one saying, imagine getting clapped and then pretending like you didn't do it for engagement. You were just really excited while reading. Yeah, she was just really excited while reading in-game chat and stuff like that. And you can see people proposing a community note. I don't think this is going to get through, but you can see someone saying, humans have functioning ears, nor are we stupid. Because there's a lot, okay? And it just keeps growing, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, tough day to have 3D tracking. Okay, it's creating moments like this, I guess. But there's viral tweets. I mean, this one has 42,000. Pretty much every tweet showing this stuff is going viral. And like I said earlier, the sort of
Don't worry, Jesse. My green screen is always messed up. And have a good night.
Backlash here, the narrative surrounding this has really breached containment. It's on every platform she inhabits, even on her most recent YouTube upload. First of all, you can see the like to dislike ratio, 1,600 versus 1,200 dislikes. People are not happy, okay? And the comment section is diabolical, okay? This is just the first ones that show up. Getting plapped on stream is crazy.
That's so funny.
Phew, that's some backlash, huh?
We finally, after over an hour, we are finally at the stage where things are really funny.
Be nice to other community members. Sure. Locking replies on Twitter. Knowing when to shut up prevents stupid drama pretty often. It's always worth a shot. Happy Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Yeah, she's big on men's health, mental health, all those things. But this has also escaped onto Instagram as well. This is her most recent post. This person saying, hey, Deme, want to tell us about admitting your boyfriend SA someone, which that is a series of what people are claiming are deleted posts. I don't think there's any proof of that, but people are also running with that narrative. You can see the next comment saying generational fall.
Damn. Now, we have no clue if anything here is, if this is made up or not. We have no clue. No clue. Could be. There's literally a 50-50 chance. And I go with, we don't know.
Off. Hope you lose it all. Next one saying, crazy how all this hate wouldn't have happened if you just stayed on subject when replying to chibi reviews. LOL, it was such an awful response that honestly makes you deserve this hate. Graduate already. Oh wait, there's more. TikTok as well. This person saying, on live is crazy. That is the top comment. Someone asking if they can crack. Someone saying, my streamer. And then someone saying, cracked live. And then someone saying she's cute, and then getting ratioed by someone saying, been cracking on stream. And then during all...
Man, I've never heard the term cracking for getting, you know, your back blown out.
This, she has continued to repost suggestive art like this one. You don't need me to scroll down to believe it. And the comments are just ripping this person and the artist apart. The artist, by the way, who did nothing wrong, but she should know, given the circumstances right now, her reposting any art is going to lead to the artist getting a bunch of negative comments. Like, there's no foresight whatsoever, right? But you can see the comments.
To have foresight, you need to have intelligence, which is very, very obviously lacking from her.
Comments, of course, Deme reposted. Ah, I wonder who reposted. Now this is some nice safe for work stuff. Well, by her definition, it is safe for work as long as there's not full nudity and actual stuff going on. And she reposted not safe for work art of her again, completely defeating her stance. Well, don't tell her that or her sycophants, who are really having a hard time right now.
Yeah.
Okay, this person saying, seeing all the hostility directed towards Deme lately has been really disheartening. In my personal experience, she's one of the nicest and most genuine people in the VTuber community. No such thing as the VTuber community.
Yeah,
by the way.
That doesn't exist. How do I know? Because they hate each other. There's literally such a... I mean, how would there be a VTuber community? You have the people in Japan and Korea that... Basically, you have the Asian VTubers that are completely not interacting with the West. Unless they're in the same company. And then the Western VTubers... Those Western VTubers completely don't have anything to do with the VTubers in the West. Because, man, Western VTubers are... They're so crazy. So crazy. Not all of them. I mean, of course not. I mean, I've watched VTubers, right? Only a handful. I think I'm down to 5. And I don't watch the ones that are crazy. It's simply It's that simple. I don't watch the crazy ones. And man, there are so many crazy ones. And I also stopped watching the sluts. Literally, all the VTubers that I've watched in the past, I stopped because, but number one, I don't care anymore, and number two, I don't have the time to watch all that stuff. And you know, I myself stream and edit videos all the time, so I literally don't have the time. If you fun fact, if you have not a lot of time, you actually choose more wisely what content to watch or to consume. And man, I got completely away from all the loot stuff, unless I want to fap, right? How about we go back to the video?
Way. Every interaction I've had with her, both publicly and privately, has been nothing but positive, and her community has always been welcoming and friendly too. Yeah, really, I've seen a very welcoming and friendly group lashing out at anyone who dared to criticize her. Yeah, they've been so welcoming and friendly to genuine criticism.
That's what she says, but it's the exact opposite of what Deme is behaving like. So,
but yeah, you can see just
more
completely
nice.
Putting on blinders to everything happening right in front of this user. And you can see the replies here, a quote saying, "So we support attacking people with trauma while simultaneously not wanting to be reminded of their own. Got it." And as you can tell right here, instantly blocked. And if you go back to the original post, despite getting nearly 3,000 likes, well, it's locked. And they hid all of the replies making fun of them. There's not a single positive interaction on this post. But here,
of course, the mentally weak people always not wanting to hear the truth. It's always the same.
Here's another quote saying, yeah, the problem is Deme doesn't realize that most VTubing fans are no longer as merciful as they used to be in pre-2025. Last year of her group in the Girly Pops, it in particular was the flashpoint for most of the 2025 drama. And guess what happens to this person?
What was drama? Oh right, there was the Cinder thing. And what else? Some other stuff, yeah.
Instantly blocked by the original poster. This person saying, nicest woman, yeah, she totally didn't slander Chibi. How nice of her. Idiotic statement. Locks comments. Well, I guess this user has one thing in common with their Oshi.
Yeah.
But then we have this post saying, this is killing me. This person locked comments because they knew not a single soul would agree with them, and they got blocked too. And despite having the useless blue thing here, I appreciate the sentiment, but this drama really has gone nuclear.
Yeah.
It is not going away because she doesn't stop talking. The last thing she should be doing right now.
Of course she doesn't stop talking. She's a woman. They just can't stop talking. No matter how bad the situation for them is, and if they would stop talking, it would get better, but they can't stop talking.
Now is tweeting, but she can't help herself. She's digging a deeper and deeper hole every single post. And the fact that she's so upset about the on-stream related narrative more than anything else, even as a Deme fan, don't you find that a bit odd? She doesn't care if she's a hypocrite. She doesn't care if she's a bad person. She doesn't even care about her fans if they have any criticism. They're useless now. But that narrative with her possibly doing something on stream, that's worthy of responding to and handling with a lot of care.
Of course.
Interesting. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please consider giving the video a like, consider subscribing and turning on notifications for daily uploads, as well as multiple streams live on YouTube every week. But overall,
everything he said, I only stopped because if that reaches the 8 seconds, the 60 minutes and 8 seconds, it immediately turns to the next video. So, same things that he said, but for my channel. If you like this, give it a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. And damn, if you want to comment something, damn. I think you have a lot of content that you can comment on here. Man, the situation is so stupid. How can you be this dumb? How? But it's always the same people, right? Always the same kind of people. Yeah, that's more accurate. It's always the same kind of people that doing the stupid and are bad people. It's always the same. Always the same. It never changes. It's almost as if we knew back in the day, you know, before all people are the same. Yeah, not really.